Hi guys, my name is Kate. I'm a part-time clothing reseller. In today's video, we are going to be going through my online sales between the dates of April 1st through April 19th. Sales have been okay. I didn't sell anything crazy. I don't think I have a single sale in today's video that is $50 or above, but I have some great solid bread and butter sales that really do help push my store and business forward. So let's dive right into my sales and we can go through them together.
All right, guys, let's jump into these online sales. If you're new to my What Sold videos, I always start off with Mercari because Mercari is the platform where I make the least amount of sales, and then I end off on Poshmark because Poshmark is where I make the most of my sales. This first sale on Mercari I wanted to talk about is this pair of Vionic black leather slip-on platform comfort summer Vesta sandals size 11. In my description, I put the keywords casual, neutral, summer cute, cushioned, and outdoor. Not a ton of keywords, but I do like to include some keywords in not only my title, but also my description to help me in the search algorithm when someone is searching for words that relate to what they want. So if someone typed in they wanted a pair of cushioned sandals, mine would pop up because my listing would pop up because I have the word cushioned in my description. I bought these shoes from a regular thrift store for $6. I accepted a $30.69 offer. Not sure on my exact profit, but these did take 80 days to sell. What I've noticed about Mercari is that when I get an offer on Mercari, it's always reasonable and it's always very high. It's always very close to my asking price. That's one thing that Mercari does, or one thing that happens on Mercari that's very different from all of my other platforms is that I've never gotten a lowball offer on Mercari. I got these because Vionic is a great brand to resell, and I think that the size 11, women's shoe size 11, actually has a following because I think that that is just a desirable size. I've never had a problem selling size 11 women's shoes, even though I thought that I would when I first started reselling. I'm noticing here now in this picture that I can't tell if it's on my screen or if it's on the picture. No, it's on the picture. There's like a hair, but that didn't deter the person from buying these sandals. Let's move on now to this new Stafford tan woven classic fit sport coat suit jacket blazer size 50 regular. In my description, I put the keywords business, work, office career, tailored professional, single breasted, and dressy. There were also different style words on the different tags on the blazer because it was new. And so somewhere on one of the tags it said resilient fabric, and then somewhere else it said crease resistant and travel friendly. So I did include all of those phrases in my description. I bought this for $10 at a regular thrift store, and it sold for my full asking price of $47.50. That was a reduced price. I had bumped it down 5% from $50, but still a really excellent sale price. Not sure on my exact profit, but this only took 77 days to sell, which I feel like is really, really good. When I was debating about getting this, I did look on eBay to check the sell-through rate and everything, but I can't remember honestly what all the stats were on eBay, but I think it looked good, especially for a new with tags, nice blazer, because I think this retailed for, actually, it says right here, it retailed for $180. So brand new for $47.50 is really good deal to the buyer. I would pick this up again. Stafford blazer isn't something I would get if it was used, but since this was new and in a larger size, I thought that it would be good. It was also a sport coat, which I think is a trendy cut, a trendy fit of blazer. I could be wrong on that, but next, I sold this new Ula Popkin pink chipmunks, owls, birds long sleeve button up shirt size 20 to 22. In my description, I put a lot of keywords. I put unique, novelty, whimsical, colorful, multicolor, animals, woodland creatures, business casual, office career, workwear, lightweight, breathable, blossoms, flowers, and spring. I got this shirt at the Goodwill outlet for $2. It sold for $24, which I believe was an offer that I accepted. Not sure on my exact profit. This did take 157 days to sell. This had a lot of good factors going for it, which is why I picked it up. This was new with tags. It was also a really good price being at the Goodwill outlet, and it had such a fun novelty print. As you can see, it had owls and chipmunks and birds. So was just a very fun print, and it was plus size and it was button up. So a lot of really good factors. Would definitely pick that up again. I think that this had quite a few likes on Mercari. Yeah, right here it says 4 likes, which is a lot of likes for Mercari because when it comes to Mercari, I usually get 0 to 1 likes. And then last sale on Mercari is this Ruby Ribbon tan stretchy adjustable strap shapewear tank top size 38, which converts to a US size 8. In my description, I put the keywords slimming, casual, neutral, and cami. I also included the style, which was 3022, although I couldn't find that style on Google. Apparently, Ruby Ribbon is a very good shapewear brand, and I would kind of compare it to Honey Love. Honey Love is a really good shapewear bra brand, and I'd never heard of this brand before, but I found it at the Goodwill outlet and I paid $2, and someone bought it for my dropped 5% price of $30.40, which is excellent for a tank top. And so I'm not sure my exact profit, but I only had $2 into it. So I think it was pretty close to $20 or more than $20 of profit. And this only took 53 days to sell. And as you can see, this one had 3 likes too. And when it comes to Mercari, 3 likes means that it was a highly desired item. There was also some, it's kind of hard to tell because there's this black stripe that says sold, but there was a little bit of a fabric imperfection, but really, really mild and not really that important because it's an undershirt. Most people wear it as an undershirt. But yeah, let's go on now to Depop, where I sold these Skechers black leather lace-up chunky Y2K grunge streetwear sneakers size 8.5. In my description, I put the keywords casual, durable, travel, as well as leather. I don't know, I put grunge. I don't think hashtags matter that much. I honestly don't ever bother to put in hashtags. I do believe that when you put style tags on Poshmark and then you use a cross listing tool, it'll put those style tags that you put on Poshmark and just put them as hashtags on Depop. So if I were listing right in Depop, I don't think I'd consciously do hashtags, but I do usually have 3 hashtags because there's a 3 tags limit on Poshmark. I picked these up from the Goodwill outlet for $6. I believe I received a $30 offer, which I accepted. So my profit is $22.56, and these only took 62 days to sell. I'm not sure if these were like true vintage, but like chunky vintage Y2K Skechers can sell, for a decent price. Skechers Jammers. I've actually sold a pair of Skechers Jammers, which is a particular sneaker, kind of chunky black leather style from Skechers that is vintage Y2K, is very popular, and I've sold it for $100 before. So definitely the style to keep out for is Skechers Jammers. These were just kind of like a Oxford thingy. I don't even know. But yeah, I did accept that $30 offer because that was pretty good. And the fees are low on Depop. Let's see. Got to go to completed. And right here, so this is a vintage white Western Conference Utah Jazz Champions NBA Finals 1991 t-shirt, extra large. In my description, I put the keywords 90s sports, basketball, casual athleisure, and nostalgia. I also put sportswear and streetwear. I paid $1 for this at an estate sale. You've probably, if you've watched any of my other past What Sold videos, you'll have seen that I've been selling these vintage t-shirts because I went to this estate sale and this woman in her closet just had so many vintage t-shirts. Now, I had this listed much, much higher. I think I had it listed at like 50 or 75. Anyway, it was very, very high. And then I got a message. Someone asked me to lower the price to 30. And so I did. And then he ended up not wanting to buy it. And so I ended up getting a $15 offer once I'd lowered it to $30, which I did just accept because I only had $1 into it. So my profit is $13.06. This did take 150 days though to sell. I think I should have just lowered it and not priced it nearly as high on all of my platforms. I can't remember if this was single stitch. I don't think it was single stitch, but some of those vintage t-shirts that I got at the estate sale that day were single stitch. I'm getting distracted here by this t-shirt. It says, broke my foot saving children. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna like that. I kind of like that. I just like saw it on top of my listing here, and I like love funny saying t-shirts. That's one interesting fact about me. All right, let's move on now to this sale. This is a 7 for All Mankind medium wash, stretchy long Bermuda Dojo shorts, size 31. In my description, I put the keywords casual, everyday, neutral, comfy, and modest. Modest is one of my favorite keywords to use because I do feel like it is a word that people, when they're searching for particular clothing pieces, like to use, right? So for a pair of shorts, if somebody is looking for a pair of modest shorts, they're probably looking for a longer pair of shorts. So you could put long shorts, but you could also put modest. Same goes for dresses if they're longer length and they have like shoulder coverage. Then you can put modest. Also, for swimsuits, it can apply to so many different categories, but modest is one of my favorite keywords to use. I paid $5 for these at a thrift store in Texas. I got a $19 offer, which I accepted, which makes my profit $12.92. And these took 45 days to sell, so pretty quick. I know that the 7 for All Mankind Dojo jeans, like the pants, can do well. And so I just decided to test out the shorts length, and they sold pretty well, and my profit wasn't bad. So glad I picked those up. I have never come across the 7 for All Mankind Dojo jeans. Actually, I think I did once, but I believe that they were in poor condition, so I left them. Last two sales on Depop are both shoes. So this is a pair of American Eagle black leather double strap Mary Jane preppy flats, size 8.5. And then I did put in my description Doc Martens dupe. Because if you don't know, I'll look it up actually with you guys right here. So Doc Martens dupe or Doc Martens double Mary Jane strap black flats. They're very popular. So yeah, the style is like that. And so they are $140. So they're pretty expensive, but these were, kind of similar to those. And I also put in my style tags schoolgirl, retro, classic, girly, neutral, casual, feminine, and casual. I already put that in my style tags. I just said that twice. But anyway, I got these from a normal thrift store for $6. I got an offer of $27.30, which I accepted. And so my profit is $19.95, and these only took 15 days to sell. I believe that they would have sold even faster, but if you've seen any of my other videos on my channel, I did go to Hawaii and all of my stores were on vacation mode. So these would have probably sold in like maybe 10 days had I not put my store on vacation mode. There was actually somebody on Poshmark who was going to buy these flats and another pair of flats, but somebody on Depop bought them first right after I took my stores off vacation mode. As you can see, these had 46 likes. I do extremely well selling preppy, old money, schoolgirl, dark academia, flats, and heels on Depop. No matter the brand, as long as they're in good condition, I can sell them. I mean, I don't really sell Walmart brands, but I've sold plenty of these like preppy flats now, and I've also sold them on eBay too. But I have got the old money, dark academia, preppy shoe vibe down because I often find them at the thrift store. And actually, there was still a price tag on these. They're definitely an older style from American Eagle, and they were only priced at $31.50 brand new. And I sold them for $27.30. So I'm pretty happy with myself on that. After I sold these, actually, or actually before I'd sold these, but after I'd thrifted them, I found another pair of they're from Lower East Side, Mary Jane, kind of fit into the preppy schoolgirl, old money look. And those already have a ton of attention too. So it really is a style-based thing in shoes that does well for me. And the last thing on Depop is this Tiva black leather outdoor boho grunge slingback slip-on foxy clogs size 8. In my description, I put this large paragraph that I believe I got directly from Tiva's website or somewhere that was selling these Tiva clogs. And then in my own style keywords, I put casual, neutral, versatile, bohemian, western cowgirl. And yeah, I guess that is it. I bought these from a regular thrift store for $6. I put a $21 offer. And yes, I had them listed at 35, but sales were slow and the fees on Depop are low. So I did accept that. My profit is $13.86, and these only took 17 days to sell. So that was another factor as to why I accepted the $21 offer, because it was such, I had just listed them too, and I knew it wasn't like a super highly desired item. All right, let's move on now to eBay, where first thing we're going to go through are these Tevas. This is a pair of another Teva black maroon elastic slip-on outdoor lightweight Voya Infinity sandals size 8. In my description, I put the keywords versatile, core hiking, camping, and summer. And then I also got this big, large paragraph from, like I said, with the other pair of Tevas directly from Teva's website or someplace that was selling these Teva sandals. I got these at a regular thrift store for $4 and I listed them for 22. And I could have held out because I think they would have sold for my full asking price of 22. They only retail for like, I think 40 or $45, but I did send out an $18 offer, which a buyer accepted, making my profit $9.68. And these only took 3 days to sell. So really, really good flip. I think when people think of the brand Teva as well as Chaco, they think, oh, their shoes are expensive. But in reality, these only retailed for 40, 45. Like I said, actually, when I picked these up, I thought they retailed for more. So I do think it is like a group mindset. When people think of these like outdoor shoe brands, they assume that every shoe from that brand is pricey, which is just not the case. I sold this vintage Cherokee tan linen blend button up grunge lightweight vest size 3X. In my description, I put the keywords vintage neutral, breathable casual layering, summer travel, jungle safari, and 90s. And I bought this for $3. It says $3 on my sheet at the Goodwill outlet. So I must have taken a few losses that day and just, put that cost and of item that I lost into the cost of another item or a few other items. This sold for my full asking price of $25, which makes my profit $16, and this only took 53 days to sell. I think a big reason why this sold was the size, and that it's a very nice neutral color, and it was also a linen blend. So glad that sold. Would pick that up again. Not used to having to click twice to go back. That must be a new thing that eBay is doing. So right here is this bogs green white tall rubber floral pansies outdoor rain snow boots size 6. In my description, I put the keywords gardening girly fairy grandma earthy cute flexible comfortable unique winter fall and waterproof. I bought these at the Goodwill outlet for $5. I thought these were so cute and they were in incredible condition. And I originally had these listed, I think, like at $40 to $50 because I sold a pair of black Bogs men's boots, I think for either $40 or $50. But it must have been the size on these or something. I thought they were adorable. I thought they would sell quicker, but I relisted them a few times and had these at 28, and I believe I sent out a $24 offer. And so they sold for $24, which makes my profit $13.24. And these took 221 days to sell. So as you can see, these did take a while, but they were so cute. Like I was just so shocked. But now that we are kind of like in like gardening season, I wonder if someone bought these to garden in because bogs retail for a lot. And I know that doesn't mean everything on the secondhand market. This next sale surprised me because the sell-through rate and comps for this exact thing were not this high and the sell-through rate wasn't this good. But I think because the Snow White movie very recently came out, people are like nostalgic for the old Snow White movie because a lot of people hate the new Snow White movie. This is a vintage Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 1971 by Ravensburg, 3 puzzles, 49 pieces. In my description, I put the keywords 70s Walt Disney and collectible. And what was fun about this was I didn't actually originally buy this to resell. I bought this just because I was wanting to do some puzzles with my daughter, and I thought it'd be fun to go to the thrift store to look for some. And so we did the 3 puzzles together. And that was also helpful because then I was able to get a picture of each puzzle individually. But as you can see, it was all in good condition and a really fun set of puzzles. So I paid $250 for this. It sold for $20, which I think was an offer I sent out. And so my profit is $13.05. And this only took 12 days to sell, like really, really quick. And the comps and the sell through rate did not show that on eBay. But I decided to list it anyway because I already had it, and I'm not someone who like wants to do the same puzzle again. That's why I wanted to thrift my puzzles in the first place to do with my daughter. I actually made 8 sales while I was in Hawaii because although my eBay store was on vacation mode, I was still letting people buy from me. It just said that I wouldn't be able to ship until a certain date. This is a pair of Allegria PG Light white slip-on hook and loop comfort cushioned shoes, size 8.5 or size 39. In my description, I put the keywords walking, work, neutral, and nurse shoes. There's also these couple of sentences which must have come from some sort of website. I just like to give that information to the buyer because I feel like it sometimes helps me make a sale. I paid $6 for these at a regular thrift store. They sold for $25, which makes my profit $13. And these took 236 days to sell. Usually I can sell Allegria a lot faster. I actually haven't come across the brand Allegria in a while, but usually I can sell it a lot faster. But these were white. And I don't know how many people are looking for like a white pair of shoes that look like this. I was actually surprised by how good of condition that they were in. Next sale is this The North Face purple striped fleece half zip hooded outdoor jacket, size 2XL. In my description, I put the keywords soft, warm, zipped pockets, traveling, layering, transitional, winter, fall, and cute. The North Face is definitely a brand on the secondhand market that is very, very oversaturated. And I recently picked up a pair of Face pants from the thrift store, and I don't know why I did because I usually don't get the brand The North Face just because of how saturated it is. Like the sell through rate and average sale price isn't that good. I did get this particular pullover though from the Goodwill outlet, paid $4. It sold for my full asking price of $38, which is really, really good. This wasn't downfold or anything. It was just a fleece jacket, which makes my profit $24.88. And this only took 48 days to sell. The kicker with this was, though, there was like this large area of the jacket where there was this very hard, sticky stuff on it. And it was like not sticky anymore, but like the very bottom of it was sticky and it was very hard to get off. It hurt my nail. And I think that it was like maybe Elmer's glue or kids glue, but it took forever to get off. But I'm glad that I did spend the time to clean that up rather than just, making it a loss because the profit was pretty good. So definitely something I would, resell again. And I think because it was purple, it did help it sell. This next sale is actually also purple. This is a new Lane Bryant purple gold sleeveless belted whimsy goth maxi dress size 22 to 24. In my description, I put the keywords flowy romantic party, wedding guest, bridesmaid, feminine, prom, hoko, and homecoming. I bought this dress for $8 at a regular thrift store. It sold for not my full asking price. I think I had it listed for $45 and I sent out a $37 offer, which somebody accepted, which makes my profit $20.12. And this only took 11 days to sell. So I think I could have held out and it might have sold for full price. This had a lot of really good factors. It was new with tags, it was a plus size, it was maxi length, and it was purple. And I got this really amazing stock photo. Would definitely pick this up again. And this retailed for $130. So really good deal for whoever bought this dress. I love finding really cute plus size dresses new with tags at the thrift store. Even better if I can find it at the bins. And then last thing I wanted to go through with you guys on eBay. I'm not going through every listing or every sale on every platform, as you guys know if you've watched my videos or if you didn't realize until just now. But this is a torrid black cream plaid pocket pixie flare studio luxe haunt high-rise pants 1X. In my description, I put the keywords dress pants, stretchy, comfy, workwear, office, and career. I paid $3 for these at the Goodwill outlet. They sold for my full asking price of $25, which makes my profit $16, and these took 33 days to sell. I got this really awesome stock photo, and this girl looks good in these pants. Like they're super flattering, super cute, and I definitely think that this stock photo helped to sell this pair of pants. I know that eBay and Poshmark and Mercari are pretty lax on stock photos. Vinted is not. You will get your listing taken down immediately. And Depop is also pretty strict. I've heard people's accounts getting banned on Depop. I've never had that happen to me, although I have several stock photos on Depop. And so I'm getting more wary as I've, been making more sales on Depop. And so as I've started relisting stuff on Depop, I'm getting rid of the stock photos. And as I'm cross-listing stuff over to Depop, I'm getting rid of all stock photos because I just don't want my account to get taken down. But stock photos really, really, really can help sell your items, unfortunately. So that sucks that it's not allowed on, technically all reselling platforms, but most especially Vinted and Depop. All right, ending off with Poshmark, where I think I am going to be going through less sales or the same amount of sales that I made on eBay because eBay was the only place people were able to buy from me for like 6 or 7 days. So eBay kind of beat all the other platforms for 1 week in April because we were in Hawaii. But this sale is this Rebecca Minkoff woman's mink pink Stella Large leather tote handbag. In my description, I put the keywords cute, business, which I misspelled, versatile, business, Barbie, Barbie core, Margot Robbie, New York, stylish, chic, Elle Woods, legally blonde, lawyer, and girly. I bought this at a thrift store in Idaho for $8. I actually thought I was going to have to pay like I think it was $7, but I wrote it as $8 on my Excel sheet. And I thought I was going to have to pay $14, but apparently it was half off and I didn't realize that it was. So I only paid $8. I had this listed a lot higher, gradually kept decreasing the price, did accept that $28 eventually. And so my profit is $14.40, and this took 322 days to sell. So a very, very long time. I have not come across the brand Rebecca Minkoff since. I very rarely find nice purses to resell. So, it makes sense that I didn't come across Rebecca Minkoff again because usually thrift stores put the more expensive purses behind the counter, which just bugs the crap out of me, honestly. I just wish that they would keep it the same price as everything else or, mark it up a little bit, but not put it behind a glass case because then there's an extra level of socialness you have to do. You have to talk with a worker to try to get it out of the case, and then you have to like do comps and authenticate it if necessary. So that's a whole hassle. I don't usually ask to look at things when they're behind a case. The next sale on Poshmark I wanted to go through with you guys is this blue plate orange floral smocked baby doll square neck knee length dress size 2. In my description I put the keywords boho cottagecore fairy lightweight breathable 100% cotton Hawaiian beach vacation sundress colorful multicolor and flowers. I paid $3 for this at the Goodwill outlet. It sold for $22. I had this listed for $25, and then after Prime Lister sent out its automation tool, I sold it for $22, which is great. My profit is $14.60. This did take 204 days to sell. I'm okay with that because this was a style-based pickup, and I mostly got it because it was really pretty. I like that it was smocked and that it was a plus size. And then next sale is also like a style-based pickup that I got for essentially the same reasons. This is an East 1946. Yes, that was the brand. This is a brown blue floral color blocking stretchy fairy midi dress, size 26 to 28W. In my description, I put the keywords romantic, feminine, girly, mixed media, patchwork, sleeveless, flowy v-neck, and asymmetrical hem. Bought this for $3 at the Goodwill outlet, sold for $23. So this must have been like an offer somebody sent me before Prime Lister was able to send out their automation. Or maybe they didn't even like it, but they sent an offer so they didn't get the deal from Prime Lister. And that makes my profit $15.40. This one took less days than the other dress. This one only took 161 days. I got this because it was a plus size and it was an asymmetrical hem. I also love the color blocking. I just thought it was very like whimsical, fairy. So glad I got that because it did sell in timely manner for a style-based pickup. And then, oh my goodness, you guys, this sale is incredible. This is a multiples blue tiered flowy embroidered boho festival cottagecore maxi skirt size large. In my description, I put the keywords modest, summer, spring, coastal, beach, cowgirl, bohemian, hippie, and vintage. I also made sure to include fully lined, lots of fabric, elastic waist, as well as easy to pull on, because that is sometimes a factor people look for when they have trouble with putting on stuff that has buttons and zippers and stuff, and they can just pull it on. This I got at a regular thrift store for $6. It sold for my full asking price of $30. This no name brand, don't know anything about this brand, but my profit is $18. And this only took 4 freaking days to sell, which is incredible. This is definitely a bolo, this type of style. And what this style is a maxi length skirt that is an elastic waist, that is in a larger size, that is tiered, and is very full. This type of skirt will fetch a pretty penny, especially during this type of year. And you just have to have a vibe about it. Like if you know, you know. I saw this in the thrift store and I was like, yes, I'm gonna buy that because someone is gonna want this for a festival or for any of the different style trends that I put as keywords in my title and description. Next sale are these shorts, which also sold very, very, very quickly. And in fact, I totally just forgot to take measurements on these, but somebody still bought them, which is great because I really didn't want to have to go back and take measurements for somebody if they asked. This is a pair of Piranha Burnt Orange Outdoor Grunge Travel Low-Rise Organic Cotton Shorts, size 12. In my description, I put the keywords neutral, rugged, and lightweight. I paid $4 for these at regular thrift store. They sold for my full asking price of $22. Yes, I had it marked at $22 because I think that's what comps said, so I priced it accurately. My profit is $13.60, and these only took 8 days, which is really, really good. I usually never sell Prana. Prana is not a very good brand for me. I usually pass on it at the regular thrift store and only buy it at the Goodwill outlet. But as you guys can see, I'm not going to go through this with you guys, but here is a Piranha kind of cardigan thing that I sold. And those both sold in close proximity to each other. So I think Prana is selling right now because it is an outdoor hiking camping brand. And that is kind of what season we are in and are going into. A few more sales I have to go with you. I have a few more sales to go through with you guys. This is a Zara navy white houndstooth tweed fringe preppy feminine blazer size large. In my description, I put the keywords Blair Waldorf, Emily in Paris, business casual, going out, work office, career wear, dressy, old money, and quiet luxury. Blair Waldorf is a character on Gossip Girl, and this is kind of something I imagined she would wear, so I did put that. And then Emily in Paris is a show, and the girl's name is Emily. The name of the show is Emily in Paris, but there's a girl named Emily, and it just reminded me of something that she would wear, so I just put those keywords. I don't know if it helped to sell it or what, but Zara blazers are a category in Zara that can sell well. Zara, the brand, is not necessarily a great brand to resell, but certain styles can do well. I've heard that their blazers can do well. This is my first ever experience selling a Zara blazer, and I have to say it was a good one. I couldn't find a non-blurry photo of the front of this blazer, but I was able to find this side profile photo, so I did put that in my photos, but not as my main photo. I bought this from a regular thrift store for $8. I think I had it listed for $50, accepted a $30 offer, which makes my profit $16. And this only took 81 days to sell. So not too shabby. All right, you guys. 2 more sales. We have these. These are a pair of Keen black brown leather Saratoga slip-on outdoor grunge clog flats, size 8.5. In my description, I put the keywords hiking, camping, neutral, comfort, travel, quality, bohemian, boho, granola girl, and almond mom. I picked these up from the Goodwill outlet for $4. They sold for $22, which was after PrimeLister sent out its discount and everything, which, by the way, PrimeLister is an automation tool of mine, and you can set how much you want to give a discount to anyone who likes your item. So you can set 10, 15, 20. And I think I have mine set to 10, which would make it 22 when it was originally 25. And since it sold for $22 and my cost of goods was $4, after all fees and everything, my profit is $13.60. These did take 146 days to sell. I used to sell Keen a lot better than I do now. but I still pick it up when I see it because it's usually never marked up and it's a really good bread and butter shoe brand. And I also love listing shoes because they sell very fast for me. Last sale on Poshmark before we shall part ways. I'm seeing now the exact same listing of mine right here. I was like, where is my listing? Right here. So this is a J. Jill sage green linen blend button-up midi maxi dress, long cardigan, size medium or size M. I could not figure out if this was a dress or if it was a cardigan. I do believe I ended up finding a stock photo, which I didn't put in my listing because I found it later on. But I do believe the stock photo had the woman wearing this as a cardigan. So I just put dress and cardigan, and then looks like I put it in the dress category. Why did I put maxi? This isn't a maxi length. This is like a midi length, but I did include measurements, so I think that the person is happy. In my description, I put the keywords capsule, wardrobe, minimalist, breathable, simple, beach, vacation, modest, casual, stretchy, cottagecore, and duster. And this first photo is actually not mine. I just liked it better than this photo. It gave it some shape. And I do have a mannequin of my own, but I rarely use it because I'm lazy. So if it looks decent enough on the wall hanging, I'll just leave it on the wall hanging. I paid $2 for this. It sold for $20, which was an offer that I accepted. I believe I'd reduced it to 25, so it was, a pretty good offer based off of my listing price. And that makes my profit $14. But this did take 298 days to sell. J. Jill is one of those brands, kind of a hit or miss for me. Definitely a more of a hit in the larger sizes, but I do have two J. Jill pieces that I got right when I first started reselling. I'll actually show you guys right here because I have no idea why they won't sell. So if I type J. Jill into my closet, as you can see, I have a lot of stuff listed from J. Jill. I've also sold a lot of stuff, but I think I have the same amount of stuff listed. Some of this stuff I just need to bring to consignment. But right here we have this. This is a J. Jill crochet cardigan, and it's a size large. I thought it was very beachy, boho, and it just hasn't sold yet. And it's marked down to $20, which is really surprising to me because this is also a linen blend. So I'm really shocked as to why that hasn't sold. And then the other thing, which I don't have a good photo of, so this one makes more sense. I've marked down to $15, but this is a J. Jill like sheer long sleeve linen blend beachy shirt. So this one also hasn't sold, which kind of sucks. They've been in my closet the longest out of all my J. Jill pieces. But yep, that is it for this What Sold video.
Thanks for watching this What Sold video. I very much do appreciate it. Sales have been, okay-ish. I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about how sales have not been good for them. I feel like it's been the opposite for me. Sales have been pretty steady for me. As long as I'm listing, I'm noticing sales. It was kind of slow getting out of vacation mode after Hawaii, right? Turning my stores back on. There is always a dip in sales right after vacation, but I'm starting to notice a steady stream of sales again, so that is great. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully. Bye.